Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there.
So, we're recuperating after a steep hike. And I said to Cindy, we only went a mile and a half so far. She's like, yeah, but that was uphill both ways.
It was, you guys. It was uphill both ways.
Yeah, and then again, when you're at altitude, it really changes things. Makes you, well, if you're used to living at sea level, or maybe 1,000 or 2 feet, you feel it.
Well, yeah, and it lets you know that you probably could always work a little harder.
Yeah, and we are way above a mile high. A mile high would be nothing. So we were thinking about boosting your immune system as well.
Very important topic, since these days our immune systems, I feel they're targeted to kind of break us down little by little through many different means, through diet, through medicine, through not enough exercise, keeping us at home. There's many different ways that they weaken our immune system.
Yeah, so one of the things to keep in mind is consistent exercise is key. Also, obviously, the food that you eat, and we've talked about that so much. You could almost tell when you're looking at comments, and some people, make, say, derogatory comments, you know that they're not eating well. And that might sound crazy, but there's a certain anger, temper, a certain frustration that comes with when you eat crappy food, basically, with lack of nutrition. Sassy, get over here. As Sassy is walking like she's heading for the cliff. Come on, Sass. She is walking over there and she's looking down. Sassy, come on.
Come on, Sass.
As we had shared, Sassy is Dory.
She is.
She is. Come here, little girl. And the reality is, when you don't feel good, you're going to be shorter fused. I think that's just part of it.
Well, yeah, and sugar, the sugar molecule, actually can hold on to your cells. And even if you're taking a lot of vitamins and say you eat, sugar, it's going to fill the cell up full of sugar. So when your cells are bouncing back and forth, trading information and trading different minerals and vitamins, if the cell is already filled full of sugar, guess what? There's no room for minerals and vitamins. They just go right out the system.
And each one of us has a unique constitution as well. We're composed of the elements and we have different tendencies. So we've talked about blood type diet. I'm going to be doing a video talking about from a Vedic point of view, the different elements that make up our constitution, and perhaps we're not eating really right for our body type and for our constitution. Something else to look at.
That's another important thing too, and a lot of us don't take this into consideration because maybe we think, we're getting by, or I'm eating this one healthy thing or that one healthy thing, yet your immune system or your system is still lacking, still suffering. Maybe you're not, flushing the system out well enough, or, just enough, because that's really important too. Food in, food out is very important. And I know that there's people out there who have problems with that. It seems like stuff goes in, but nothing's going out. And that might be because of your blood type.
We know that we are being assaulted. That's just plain obvious. I mean, how many times have you seen strange cloudy days and then all of a sudden felt a little bit off? It's just par for the course. So we're being hit from so many different ways. And so it's so imperative. One of the things we keep getting from the guides is you have to fast, you have to detox, purify. And unfortunately, in this world, with all the laws, and when we look at the laws that get put into effect, it's really telling. It's so telling. It's so obvious when they put laws in that make it so we don't even really know what's in the food. They don't even have to list it in many cases. And when organic is not necessarily organic, and this world has been so infected with GMOs, And we know that what they're trying to do to us is to make us a GMO as well.
Yes, they are. And there's so many things that they do also to sabotage the family diet. You know, they have us either working so we don't have time to go home and cook and we just grab fast food, or we just grab, a snack off the shelf and call it good. And then our family suffers too. So that's another way that they attack. And also, our system is not very conducive to fasting, when fasting is probably one of the absolute best ways to help give your immune system a boost, especially if you're getting over a sickness or going through something. You want your body to get rid of all of that yucky stuff that's in there that's making you sick, and fasting can really help make that progress.
And as we have said many times, as well as a regular spiritual practice, mantras, meditation, QiGong, things along those lines, getting out in nature. We try to get out and do, usually it runs about a 3 to 5 mile hike, which includes going up and down the hills, the mountains, and at altitude. And we try to do that like 5 or 6 times a week, as well as get in yoga. And the one thing that we've dropped out a little bit on is the resistance. And we try to still get some resistance in with yoga, with doing things like planks and different positions to keep some strength going. We need to really get that heart going. We need to keep ourselves healthy, because it's going to be very, very challenging when we are facing stressful situations and the body goes into that fight or flight. Then you're producing cortisol, and that lowers your immune system. So again, you have to get out there, get the feel-good chemicals, hormones going in the body, and cleanse it as much as possible. And there's something about being out in nature. Like last night we got a late start, and we basically got done when it was getting dark. And otherwise, I think we would have just kept going, because it felt so good. It was just so quiet and so peaceful out there. It was just beautiful. So today, too, I noticed it was really weird. I've been starting to keep track of things when I hear strange planes and things like that. And we had a plane go overhead that I would estimate was at 5,000 feet at most. 5,000 feet at most, probably not even. And it was big. It was a big military plane. It was kind of like either a cargo carrier, personnel carrier. And I went and immediately jumped online and checked the flight radar. And the closest thing to us was a 737, and that was at 36,000 feet. And that had already passed by. So it was not on flight radar. And it was definitely very low, and it just got us wondering.
It did, so it just kind of feels like things are starting to move. Things, could come grinding to a halt. And if we're going to be stuck inside and stressed, that could have an effect on our immune system. And it just seems like it'd be a really good idea to start thinking about your immune system now.
And I just wanted to give you guys a little look at some of the amazing rock formations that, pop up when you're out here. I can't help but look at some things and immediately start thinking things are being quarried. Who was doing what out here, thousands of years ago? As we do not know our history, that is for sure. And that's a sad fact, but it is. Most of our history is hidden as the science gets rewritten. You just gotta wonder, what really was our history?
Yeah, that's something that they definitely do a really good job of covering up, as they continue to rewrite the history books in school and the science books. And to the point where I think if you were to pick up a science book or a history book that's maybe 5 years old, it's probably totally just not worth a read at all anymore.
If you're only reading to have a laugh, perhaps. So guys, share with us what you want to hear more of as well, because we want to know, your feedback on what you want us to cover. Obviously, we've tried to be as careful as we can covering the political ends of things, the medical end of things, the pharmaceutical end of things, because as you know, so many channels just aren't here anymore. They're here today, gone tomorrow. And this big war that's underway is intensifying big time. And so, as always, thanks for your support on Ko-Fi and Patreon. God bless and namaste.
Namaste.